Okay, welcome back, Angry Intel Guy. This next story is about me in nav school. That was the first place I went to. I had a nav slot, navigator slot, so I was going to navigator school. That's where I was in California. Obviously, I didn't make it through, but that's okay. Get to nav school, and nav school is in at Mather Air Force Base, California, which is in Sacramento, California, which is across the town from McClellan Air Force Base. Two Air Force bases in Sacramento at the time, McClellan and Mather. I'm at Mather going through nav training. My dad is like GS-14 at McClellan. He's running base restaurants incorporated over there. Restaurants, snack bars, roach coaches. He's in charge of all that shit over there. So I'm living on base at Mather in the officers' dorms, pretty much a dorm room, just like he had in college. That school was cool. We had a 3 strikes and you're out thing going on, so I failed one test and 2 check rides, and so then I got processed out, not out of service. They basically said, okay, what else do you want to do in the military, because navigation isn't it. And so I changed another job. But while I was at nav school, it was very cool. We thought we were all hot, wearing fucking flight suits and shit every day. But even the girls in the clubs knew, depending on what phase you were in nav school, you had a different color scarf. So if you had a red scarf, you just got here, man. There's girls look at you and like, yeah, whatever, you just got here. You might not even be here next week, so I'm not giving you any of this. And then of course you had a green scarf, or you had a yellow scarf, or a blue scarf. You're traveling up, you're getting closer and closer to your graduation date. Then you get a little bit more love from the ladies. But yeah, I didn't get any love from the ladies, but it was nice wearing a flight suit. Anyway, really cool. I went there. There's a bunch of different people, different countries and stuff. We had Germans, we had Saudis, because we're friends with everybody. The German guy, oh man, I can't remember his name, but dude came over and he was going to F4s because that's really all they had. F4s or Tornados. And but he was really cool, and he bought this just aircraft carrier size Cadillac, one of those old school Cadillacs, because he's German, man. He thought that was really cool. That was American. And every once in a while we used to pile in that thing. He's like, Terry, let's go. We go for a road trip, and we get a bunch of dudes and jump in his car, and would end up at fucking Bunny Ranch across the border in Nevada. So those were always fun. Other things that happened in nav school, nothing I want to put on. Nothing I want to put on this video. But anyway, like I said, it got to a point where I busted a test. And then busted 2 check rides. And even though they had the 3 strike rule, honestly, there were people I knew that had 4 strikes and they didn't get shown the door. So when I went up in front of the board, one of the first things they asked me, they said, hey, do you think you've been, they were getting all racial, do you think you've been discriminated against, and blah 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 blah. And I thought to myself, I'm just gonna let it go, because I could have been like, well, I know a couple of people who I will not name, but I think you know them, who have 4 strikes and are not in front of a board like I am. But I didn't even want to play the race card. That ain't me. They told me in the beginning, 3 strikes and you're fucking out. And I'm like, okay, I got 3 strikes. I'll go do something else in the Air Force. I will be helpful somewhere else in the military. And that's what I did. But yeah, there were a few dudes that had at least 4 strikes. Shit, maybe 5 or whatever, who's uncles might have been a fucking navigator. Their daddy was, you know, some kind of goddamn general or something like that. But, you know, shit happens. But you can't sit there and, like, throw up the race card all the time. Fuck it, you know? If you want to whine about that shit, you're going to whine about that all through your life. Because there's other things that are going to happen to you that are based on race. But that's just fucking life. So anyway, I left NAV school. And I actually, from NAV school, I went to Tyndall Air Force Base to cross-train to be what was then called Air Weapons Director. Now they call it Air Battle Manager, Air Battle Management. But the same guys that, like, you know, up in AWACS, or you're sitting at a ground site, like a Sector Operations Center, you know, working radar, sending planes to go do whatever and stuff. And I'll save the Tyndall part for the next video. So, if you like what you hear, if it's interesting at all, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.